Good morning. This is your safety stand down for Friday, June the 6th, 2014. Today's topic, fall protection. Now this is part of the National Safety Month that's being held nationwide by most construction companies. EHG is choosing to participate actively, and every week we'll have a different topic. Falls are the top cause of fatalities nationwide in construction. A third of injuries come from falls. So the Department of Labor, OSHA, has made it a national campaign as a goal to prevent this type of fatalities and injuries. We're working from ladders, scaffolds, and roof. And those seem to be the top three locations from where workers tend to fall from. The national campaign gives us an idea of how we should give this training. They talk about planning, providing, and training. In the EHG world, however, we always try to do training first. So back in March, for example, we had in our safety academy over 120 of our workers attend a very informative safety training specific for fall protection. On every single job, supervisors must decide whether falls are a risk. If so, then a plan has to be put in action. We talk about fall distance. We talk about anchor points. The system could be including retractables. Then we provide the equipment that's appropriate for that risk. Those harnesses, those retractables, those anchor points. It's also the workers' responsibilities of this, once they receive that equipment, to inspect it. So as a team effort, everybody gets involved in fall protection.
In the planning phase, one of the tools we have at our disposal is a checklist to stop construction falls. As it says here, planning ahead is the most important thing you can do to prevent falls. Some of the questions you should be asking yourself. The first question, do your employees have to work at heights on this job site? And then, of course, if it's yes, at what height? This is going to dictate to you what type of fall protection you're going to use. On some job sites, ladders are allowed, some aren't. Some job sites will not allow us to use ladders. But if the ladder is permitted on the job site, going through this checklist, you can see if the ladder is in good condition, has it been set up, and has each worker been trained in safe ladder use. There's a section for aerial lifts, scissor lifts, or bucket trucks. Questions such as, is the ground level for safe footing? Workers still have to wear harnesses even if working off of aerial lifts and scissor lifts and bucket trucks. Have users been trained in safe lift use? Has the site been assessed to prevent contact with power lines? Remember, 20 feet for EHG. The section for scaffolding, if that's being used. Have the scaffold been fully planked? Do you have guardrails? Is there a competent person on site? Have the builders been trained? Typically we use third parties to build our scaffolds, so that shouldn't be an issue. And finally, have the scaffold users been trained? Some cases we rely on guardrails for fall protection. One of the big numbers, 39 inches. Is the guardrail at least 39 inches? Are all open edges protected? This is an excellent checklist that we can use on our job sites. Some occasions, lifelines are used, especially on roofs. If they are, has the anchor point been installed appropriately? Are all workers using harnesses? Are workers given harnesses for the individual use? Lifelines, are they in good order and proper length? Have all workers been trained in proper lifeline use? You can have too much slack and swing like Tarzan at the wrong moment. Again, finally, has a competent person been selected to make sure fall protection is used and used properly? A good basic checklist for you to use. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me and I'll give you some more details.
Wow, lots to choose from. Where do I go with this? And that's the part of the training we need to focus on. The type of risk of fall is what dictates what equipment we're going to use. Is it going to be a ladder with retractable? Are we going to be on the roof with a roof anchor? Do I have the harness on correctly? So most of you have already had this training. The point here is to remind you of all the different types of pieces that go into fall protection, and so that you can focus on what's right for your job. In closing, again, planning, providing, and training. It is the groundwork, the fundamental for our fall protection program. Appreciate the time you spent with us this morning. We hope that you take it to heart. Let's prevent falls on the job site, minimize any kind of injuries that come from this type of risk. Thank you and good night.